We now welcome on to Inside TBT, defending champ from Carmen's Crew, Jon Diebler. Jon, have you spent all of the money you won last year yet?
I've got a whole bunch of diapers. I spent it all on diapers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I haven't spent it all. I'm glad I didn't because of this whole pandemic that has happened and with the economy taking a hit.
That's very smart of you. You know, first and foremost, I think you should be honored because you're our first guest for this
Yes.
show. So congratulations. We are happy to have you.
Thank
You
you.
were like our sixth choice, but you're the first person that responded. So
Thank you, Joseph.
But we know you're excited about TBT. Everyone's excited. How have you been staying ready, staying in shape during the quarantine and shutdowns?
I honestly, I have a treadmill and like some weights in my basement, so I've been okay. I've been able to get some work in. I shoot at my neighbor's house, so ironically, I think of like all my neighbors across the street beside me, the two across the street, two beside me. I'm the only house without a basketball hoop. So I've been going to shoot at my neighbor's house, and yeah, I've got some free weights and a treadmill in my basement, so I'm good.
I'm just picturing you walking up and meeting your neighbors for the first time and going, "Hey, do you guys mind if I shoot?" And they're like, "What is this grown man asking me to shoot on his hoop for?" You're like, "Well, actually, I'm a professional basketball player and one of the best in Ohio State history. My name's Jon Diebler," and they freak out and everyone's taking selfies and stuff. Is that how it went?
Definitely not. Definitely not how it went. I was actually really nervous to ask them, but I mean, they have young kids, and then one has kids in high school. So I feel like the one in high school, they're like, "Hey, you should come shoot with my kids." And I said, "Yeah, sometime we can do that. I got to get my work in though for TBT."
So have you been talking with the guys? Does everyone seem like ready to go, running back another $2 million?
Yeah, I mean, we have our group chat. I think everyone's about as ready as they can be. I mean, it's no matter how much you work out, whether it's at your house, outside, going on runs, you're not going to get in game shape until you play games. So I think that'll be the case for everyone. And the strange thing is just, people who are playing overseas haven't played games in a couple months with everything that's been going on. So it'll be interesting to see how the games are because, like I said, you don't actually get in game shape until you start playing games, and no one has played games for a while.
Is there a part of you that's a little nervous about you guys being the old dudes on the block and having to kind of rev up those engines a little earlier maybe than some other guys?
I mean, that probably has a factor for our team, but like I said, I mean, myself personally, I feel good mentally. I'm refreshed. Physically, I feel good. I do my cardio every other day, and I lift the days I don't do cardio. So I don't know, our guys will do what they have to do, but I think with us, we're kind of at an advantage because our chemistry is so good. With everything that's been going on and people probably not being able to practice, finding gyms, we believe our chemistry is one of our biggest factors to winning it last year. So we're definitely going to rely on that again.
I know you guys don't really, shy away from a challenge, and I know you would never admit that there's a team or a guy that you're scared of, quote unquote. But do any of these new additions to TBT that have been coming out that you've been seeing stick out to you any more than the others?
There's a lot of good teams, and I think that's the beauty of TBT. And every year it's progressing. There's more players playing. There's better teams joining, and I mean, I think I just saw Nate Robinson's going to play, and Maurice Spates is going to play. I mean, these are high level NBA veteran guys who are going to play. So, I mean, I follow on social media, what other teams are doing, and every team in this is good. All of them have professional players, but I mean, there's some very, very good teams, athletic teams, skilled teams. You look at teams that have played before, and the Dayton team that we played last year, the Syracuse team, the Marquette team that we played, and then looking at new teams, Team Heartfire with Coach Homer Drew coaching them, and Team Washington has some talent. it's gonna be intense. The Tennessee alumni team has some very good players, so it'll be fun. It's gonna be fun, and I know guys are excited. I know we're excited.
I can't help but notice that you mentioned a lot of teams and didn't include one team that's kind of close to our hearts, the Big X. For those of you who don't know, the Big X is made up of all Big Ten players for the most part, but mostly from Ohio State, some Wisconsin, but most of them are from Ohio State and grew up watching John Diebler get buckets. In particular,
Joey stirring the pot.
In particular, we have GM / head coach / point guard Andrew Dakich.
/ Jackie Moon.
Exactly. He's kind of created a pretty good team, don't you think, or no?
No, absolutely. I mean, I didn't mention them, but they've got some great pickups, and they have guys that we know, Joey, as you know, that we've played against in the summer, guys that are part of that Ohio State family, that brotherhood. So, we obviously want them to do well, but if they play us, then it's going to be an intense game. But no, Doc has done a really good job putting together a really, really good team. Have the Wesson brothers and Keyshawn and CJ and Nick Ward, a Columbus guy who went to Michigan State. So, they're going to be very good. And they've got some talent, and Doc, aka Jackie Moon, has done a really good job, I think.
There's
Doc
a lot
is
of
my guy. Doc is my guy.
There's a lot of similarities between the teams, but I think kind of one thing that Carmen's crew does not have necessarily is the Nick Ward, Caleb Wesson type player. Have you heard or seen anything? Maybe Sully thinking about lacing it up this summer? No way.
I don't think Sully's going to lace it up. I think he is comfortable in his role of leading us on the bench. Him and Evan have done a great job. And, Dallas was coaching last year, but he's going to play this year. He gives us some size and athleticism. And, with Rav and Gibbs, I think, we're comfortable with who we have if we were to match up against them. And, with our guard play and what we're able to do, we think we can cause some problems for them.
Another thing that I think Carmen's crew is kind of lacking is some shooting. And you guys kind of addressed that by adding Lenzel Smith. There were no shooters on the team before, and now you got Lenzel Smith Jr. to help with the shooting because you guys didn't have any shooting before.
A lot of shade being thrown in. Do you see this?
Can you talk? No, but seriously, talk about Lenzel for some, obviously he's not quote unquote in the same group sometimes when you talk about this Carmen's crew team, but obviously as much a part of the success as anyone else for those Coach Mata runs. Talk about the addition of him.
Yeah, we're excited to have Lenzel on the team. He's, he's had a very underrated career, I think. Like you said, maybe when you talk about a lot of guys in Buckeye history and most recently with Coach Mata's guys, he went to an Elite Eight, a Final Four, if I remember correctly, was a starter after – did he start his sophomore year? Or was it junior year?
I think he was a 3 years – I think he was
I was gonna say,
on and off junior year.
Yeah.
I think he started some games junior year, but definitely
Lenzel's a guy. He was a freshman my senior year. We we know him really well. He's someone that we're comfortable having on the team, and we think he can help. He's an aggressive guy, can get to the basket, can play defense, and can knock it down. So we're excited to add him.
Do you think the TBT being, kind of shrunk in many different aspects, whether it be from locations to the literal amount of teams, do you think that that's an advantage for you guys being the returning champs and being probably the most experienced TBT team there is?
Yeah, I think again, I go back to the chemistry. Our chemistry is something that has helped us tremendously, especially last year, because last year we were not really prepared to as you know, we were not really prepared for TBT. We were very scattered last year, and ironically, that's the year we won it. But it's not just about having talent. We're lucky that we have very good talent, but our chemistry is what I think takes us over the top, and that's never going to change. And in a tournament like this, it's not just about having guys who can play basketball. It's about knowing how to play, knowing the players on your team, and we have that. We're comfortable with that, and no matter the situation, the format, we feel comfortable with the guys that we have.
So one of the guys on Florida TNT is a guy by the name of Fletcher McGee. and he has the most threes in the history of the NCAA. Is that a matchup that you would potentially take personally and want to outshoot a guy like that, or do you not think that way?
No, it's hold on a sec.
We'll cut this
Got
out.
him all
Don't
hot
worry.
and bothered. He
I
didn't
had to
stick
get
it
my
up.
dog. No, I had to get my dog, dude. Since this is not gonna go, since we're just using this for the dude, my dog just puked. Look at that.
we might have to use that.
No, this is off the record. So no, bro, like my dog does this thing. I mean, do you guys have dogs?
Yeah.
I have dog.
So I have a mini Yorkie, right? And he does this thing like when he doesn't eat, he like pukes up this yellow bile, like because he's hungry, so he doesn't eat. It's weird. He's been doing it since we've had him for 8 or 9 years. So
Hey, he's just trying to tell you he's hungry.
Listen, our dog eats like a king. The guy eats chicken and rice. Like I make chicken and rice for this guy, and I mix it in with his dog food, and that's what he eats. So he's got chicken and rice in his bowl. He's just decided that he's not going to eat. Now he'll be hungry in like 5 minutes. But unfortunately,
he needs the attention.
He was on this white chair that we have, and he started making the puking noise. That's why I was like, oh, crap, I got to get up. So I moved him to the hardwood floor, a lot easier to clean up. So sorry about that.
No,
What
that's
was
so
the question
funny.
again?
He made the puking noise.
I'll re-ask it.
My dog even thought that was a stupid question.
I want you to say shit like that. I want you to be like, I don't give a shit about that.
No. No, that kid, the McGee, he had a phenomenal career. I don't take that stuff personally, honestly. He just finished having a great year in Spain. He's a phenomenal player. I remember watching him in the tournament. But no, I mean, I don't. The only shooting competitions I take personally are with Joseph Lane, because for some reason he thinks he's a better shooter than me.
Want to know?
I don't remember this.
It was a half court contest with Coach Mage. He gave me Charlotte shorts. I don't know what else to tell you. Want to know? I don't have the shorts anymore though, because one of my teammates who no longer is with the program stole them. Something
that Joey actually has been talking about. He thinks it would be cool for there to be a TBT 3-point contest. Is that something you'd be interested in participating in?
Yeah, I would do it. That'd be awesome.
Have you ever done like a NBA style 3-point contest?
I did. I've done one I did it twice in Turkey when I was in Turkey during the All-Star weekend that they have. So I lost both times. One I lost in the finals.
What's the Turkey All-Star weekend like?
Oh, it's a big deal. It's crazy. They do it up. It's they have like a concert and everything. It's legit. It's pretty fun.
Whenever I think of
Are they serving turkey to everyone?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Whenever I think of like the overseas, European, Japanese, Chinese like all-star games, all I can think about is the highlight of Robert Sacre doing a
The dunk contest?
in the dunk contest.
What is wrong with you? They have a dunk contest, 3-point contest, skills challenge. It's a big deal.
That's cool.
If the TBT asked you, John, we want you in the dunk contest and the 3-point contest, would you do both?
No. Are they gonna lower the rim for me? I used to be able to jump, but I don't know if I got it anymore.
Do you know what the TBT dunk contest is? Do you remember it?
Yeah, it's where you like dunk on people.
You gotta dunk on people.
Yeah, I would get dunked on, but I don't know if I would be doing any dunking on people.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. They're asking you to be the guy that gets dunked on.
Oh, just be like the crash dummy?
Yeah, and you get half the winnings no matter what.
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. If I get half the winnings to get dunked on by everybody, sign me up.
How quickly, when you guys won the $2 million, how quickly after were you like, we're running it back next year, let's do it again?
I think we were still committed regardless. I think. I mean, we knew we were probably going to do it again. I don't think there was ever a doubt in our mind about. Honestly, I think we'll do it until guys are like done playing. just because we enjoy playing in these competitive games with each other. Like we enjoy playing on the same team again and doing those things. So I could see us playing until guys are officially retired.
So we got to ask you then, we know you just had twins. We know you're happy in Columbus. Are you done besides TBT with professional basketball, or what's next?
I don't know. I mean, I actually had I had some opportunities to go overseas this year, and one was after my knee surgery. A team wanted me. They were like, "Hey, can you?" My agent had contacted me. This was probably 2.5 weeks after my knee surgery, and he was like, "Hey, are you ready to play?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "A team in Spain would like to bring you over," and I wasn't ready. And then I want to say in the end of February, I had another opportunity to go to another team in Spain. My agent had texted me at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday night here in Columbus. He's in Serbia, so it's like 2 a.m. there. And he asked if I could leave tomorrow. So he was like, "Hey, can you leave tomorrow?" And I, talked to my wife about it, and we had actually decided that we were going to do this. So I was like, "All right, let's do it. Like, I'm ready. Let's go." And then the next morning, the deal kind of fell through. Don't know why it did, but it did. And then like a week later, the coronavirus situation really exploded. And I'm like, well, good thing that we didn't go overseas, especially in Spain, because it was kind of crazy in Spain at the time. But yeah, I was going to go over, and then my wife and kids were going to come over like a week later. So I'm definitely very, very thankful that that deal did not happen. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I miss playing. I definitely miss it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with overseas basketball and kind of, the situation after this pandemic, and as teams start to start back up. I mean, some leagues are continuing. They're trying to finish their season, and there's going to be a lot of factors now. So, I mean, I would play. I'm looking forward to it. I want to. I miss playing. I think this year has helped me in a way, helped me get healthy and, kind of refresh, because I've been playing basketball nonstop since, I was in like junior high. So to kind of have this year to be home with my family has definitely given me a little more energy and kind of refreshed me a little bit.
We kind of joke with you a little bit about how every single year Aaron Craft says this is the last year and then I'm going to go be a doctor. Every year he says it. Do you think we're going to see that happen again, because his career was kind of cut short overseas because of the coronavirus?
I think that's it. I think that's it for him.
So does that mean that's it for TBT, or is he the kind of guy that can get in shape in a couple weeks and be back on the court for a tournament?
I think he could. I think he's going to be the guy where he doesn't let himself get incredibly out of shape. So
can you even picture a fat Aaron Craft?
Yeah, yes, because I've known him since he was little, and he was a chubby little kid. Yeah. Oh, dude, he'll tell you. I remember when I was in junior high, because his dad was my junior high coach, and he was in second or third grade when I was in junior high. He was a chunker. It was funny.
So
he'll tell you he was.
So the Red Scare team for this year, which has a couple of the Dayton seniors whose season was obviously cut short, they're probably playing, and they feel like if they can win this thing, it would kind of feel like a little redemption for them with their season being cut short. When you guys won last year, was any part of you like, you know what, we didn't get it done in NCAA. This feels like a little bit of closure, this team winning a championship?
Honestly, yes and no. We've all moved on from that. Obviously, it still stings a little bit. From my junior year with Evan, and then my senior year with the year that we had, it still hurts, but I don't know if it was so much as closure. It was just like, man, to be able to come together at this point in our careers and to still, be successful and to win a championship, and just the excitement that we had of like, man, it almost brings you back to those college days, because those are the best times of your life, getting to play with your best friends, and to be able to do that again at a competitive level was probably the best part.
I think that people forget that you're an NIT champion. You've been there, done that before.
We did win the NIT my freshman year. We don't like to talk about that. Hey, Joey's throwing a lot.
Joey's losing. he tried to keep it together for that, but he lost it with your
throwing
answer.
a lot of shade today.
It's only funny because me and John obviously have very similar careers in terms of both elite and shooters in the eyes of the NCAA and the Big Ten, but also we went to the NIT our freshman year. The only difference is that they won it and we lost in the second round. So literally the only glaring difference I see between our careers. And
I agree.
Well, didn't you go to the NIT your second year too, Joey?
No, we didn't make it. We didn't.
Hey, Joey, is that a ping pong table?
Yeah.
I would destroy you.
I'm one of the best
For those of you listening to this and not watching, there is a ping pong table behind Joey. And John has just announced that he would destroy him in it. All right, back to the episode.
We can broadcast that live. I would beat Joey in ping pong.
I think that's – hey, you're going to be in quarantine at the TBT place. If we're allowed in for whatever reason, which we won't be, I will guarantee you there's a ping pong table there. There has to be. And we'll play.
Well, John, that's a good – you bring something up. I want to ask you this. So a couple months ago, Joey made the claim to me that there's not one single person in the world that could beat him at every single sport. Do you think you would be able to beat Joey in every single sport?
I'm trying to think of all the sports.
I mean, he's counting like darts and stuff. Like he was saying he was going to get lucky in a game of darts.
But
the virtual darts on Game Pigeon, I'm top 5 in the world. I am top 5 in the world. I'm telling you, ask Dave Lighty, I am top 5 in the world.
Virtual. No, but like seriously, the argument, and I got this from a Barstool guy. So if the Barstool guy is saying it, then obviously it applies to me as well. I was saying that there's not like between ping pong and swimming and a foot race and darts and like even like Call of Duty, if you count that as a sport, you know, like whatever. I mean, there are professional
This
Call
is
of Duty
true.
players, right?
This is true.
So I was just saying that like, because we would go through the list and obviously my best sport is basketball. So you eliminate,
Is it though?
It's probably not anymore, but it used to be. And so that way, it's the only guys that can beat me in basketball is the NBA guys and the EuroLeague guys, whatever, right? The professional basketball players.
Well, and me
really
in that
counts.
shooting competition.
And
but
Doc.
yeah.
And Doc.
Not Doc. But
Doc wouldn't beat you?
in what?
Basketball.
I mean, in one-on-one, neither one of us would probably score. We don't play one-on-one. That's not how we roll. But in a shooting contest, when I played Doc, I hadn't touched the ball in like 6.5 months and came back at the end of the summer, and he had been working his butt off, obviously, right? Because that's all he can do as a GA is play basketball. And I beat him in the first shooting contest when I came back. I hadn't touched the ball. I was wearing khaki shorts like a pole.
Everyone knows Doc can't shoot because his the best shot that he has is like a lucky miracle heave from wherever it was against Michigan State, and he thinks he's a shooter because of that. He can't make that shot like 9 times out of 10.
That shot makes its way to Instagram and Twitter like once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 weeks, you see like a throwback to that time.
I know. When you
I
talk
think
to
TBT,
Doc, you're reminded of it. So
TBT has posted it.
Dude,
Ohio State basketball was posting it.
Shot about against Michigan State, like it was the end of the half. It wasn't even like a game winner.
It was to go up 12 at halftime. It was a big shot. I mean,
it was a big shot. But do you think Doc can make that on a regular basis?
No, I know for a fact that it takes all of his strength to get it from half court. So, but can we get back to this argument? You need to tell me if it has any kind of validity. I really don't like I'm a pretty darn good golfer too, you know. So like
Steph Curry, I stand by Steph Curry beating you in every sport.
There's got to be something I can beat him at.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like archery. Are you a better archer than him?
I might be. I've done it like twice.
I think we should set up at TBT and we're coming up with all these TBT ideas, but I think we should set up at TBT decathlon, where there's just 10 events and the top
Decathlon.
and these top basketball players in the world that are some of them NBA players that are in between the you and the best, so a little better than you at basketball. Okay, we should.
You're talking about John or me?
They're better than you, Joey.
Okay.
We should put them.
All right.
We should put them in this decathlon competition, and you can participate as well.
Not a decathlon.
Decathlon.
I would like to see this. Funny thing is, you know what's funny about that is Mark Titus and Dallas Lauder and I have always talked about doing one of those and just doing that in the summer.
My dad with his best friends when he was younger, right out of college, every year they would have a triathlon, but the triathlon would be like billiards, pool.
I would beat you in that too.
See, I'm really good at pool too.
Are you though?
I am.
Are you good at
billiards, ping pong, and bowling, all at their bowling alley. They would do a triathlon. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Those random sports.
I think I got you in all three of those.
What's your highest bowling?
Don't worry
sport?
about it, bro. Don't worry about it.
Why? That's a part of this.
I can tell you how that would go. I can tell you exactly how it would go. Joey would beat you in one of them, and John.
And then it's case
John, and you would say, I don't care. Here's my Zell from last year. Here's my Big Ten shooting records. You would like start getting really passive aggressive and like firing off all the things you
kind of like what he's been doing to me during this interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, Joey, you would probably beat me in bowling, but pool and ping pong, you have no chance.
I know. Well, your brother Jake is outstanding at ping pong, and I beat him.
Whoa! Did you say Jake is outstanding at ping pong?
I've never seen you play ping pong. Sorry. Jake's really good. He's not great.
We will need to televise. We will need to televise this.
You know who's the best though in Ohio State history?
Mike Red.
Oh, I was gonna say Coach. I was gonna say Coach Rich, but
no, Mike Red, super nice.
All right, that's good to know. I really do like I think
Rich
I'm
is
really
okay.
good.
I used to beat Rich. Rich is okay. Dude,
Rich
bro, we used to play.
intimidation.
We used to get to practice like 2 hours before, so that first hour of the 2 hours we would play ping pong.
Well, I started doing that, and then the type of teammates I had. They didn't really, they didn't really show up 2 hours before anything.
More shade.
But
Andrew, he's on a roll today.
It's not
I'm about to mute him. Throwing shade at everyone. You definitely would win the shade throwing competition. No one can beat you in that.
But hold on, let me finish. So we started doing that, and then eventually it shifted to us playing video games. So then it would be like 2K, and then my senior year, and especially my junior year, a lot of Fortnite. We were just all huddled around each other playing Fortnite, which I know I can beat you at Fortnite.
All right, we're getting way too far from
we're
TBT
getting off track here.
and basketball.
Joey is.
I'm gonna bring it all the way. I'm gonna bring it all the way back to TBT, but it's still's got to do with some teammates and funny stuff. Is Lenzel Smith Jr. going to be treated like a freshman? Is he going to be carrying the bags? Is he going to be picking up food for everyone, or is that stuff long gone?
No, we're not going to rookie haze Lenzel Smith. No, Lenzel was with us last year. He was in Chicago with us. No, we're not going to do that. He's on the squad. He's one of us. We've known him for a long time. That's our guy.
All right, man. John, I do not have any questions, but you know what we're going to ask now. Do you have any questions for us?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see. No, I put me on the spot.
You got to be ready. This is your third time in an interview with us. You got to be ready to ask us questions.
But have you ever said, do you have any questions for us?
Definitely.
We ask that like literally every single episode.
Really? I need to go back. I need to see the tapes.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right.
I got nothing right now, guys. I got nothing.
No problem. Keep your head focused on the game. That's the answer we were looking for. Carmen's Crew fans at home know that means you're locked in and in the zone. So that was the best answer you could have given. Ladies and gentlemen, John Diebler, who's running it back for another $150,000 or whatever his share is. Good luck to you. Good luck to Carmen's Crew. We'll be talking to you again soon.
Yes. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Of course.